Welcome to Dad Bods and Touchdowns.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Dad Bods and Touchdowns. We're officially coming off our hiatus, taking a little bit of a break from the every week episode. We are now back week to week. It'll be short little podcasts, just little things that are going on that we feel we need to talk about, or just little tidbits of information that we find during the week. Eric, let's go with this very first thing. All right. Let's talk about how the Bears had a great season last season, winning season, a lot better than I thought. You tried to tell me this at the beginning of last season. I didn't listen. I wasn't a believer, right? So I want to talk about the Bears in the last 25 years, right? After coming off a winning season, first and foremost, last 25 years have not been good to us, right? Winning percentage of 468 over the last 25 years, 197 and 224. But let's talk about our winning seasons, all right, Eric? Let's start off with 2018 for 12-4, right? Coming off that, we ended up having 2019 and 2020. We had 500 seasons. We were both 8-8, so obviously 16-16 over those two. And then unfortunately, we got to go 6 years from there. We got to go to 2012, and they were 10-6. And 2013, we ended up being 8-8. So in 2010, we were 10-6, and we ended up being 8-8. 2011. And then we've got the Super Bowl 2006 for 13-3. Came off that Super Bowl loss, and we're 7-9 coming off that in the next season. And the last one that I'll bring up, because we're talking 25 years, is 2001. We were 13-3, Eric. Then they come back in 2002, and they're 4-12. All right. The reason why I'm asking this is obviously the Bears had an outstanding season, like I started off with. Are we better than 500 coming out of this season?
Well, I'm going to make it tricky for you and reverse the question back at you. Do you think Ben Johnson fixed the culture and that's why we're going to be better?
This is my thing. Historically, we've been bad, right? Under 500 for the most part. All right. We do have a very, very, very tough schedule. It is the toughest in the NFL. We'll touch base a little bit on that here shortly. I'm going to say that we're going to be 11-6 this season. All right. I'm looking at it. I think we come back raging. And I just think that Ben Johnson's done a great job with the Bears offense. Defensively, our secondary is going to be solid. Linebacking core is going to be a little questionable, not going to lie. But I do think they're comfortable with that defensive line. Bringing back Odangbo healthy is going to be good. Obviously, counting on Booker being a lot better. Sweat, Odangbo has to be accounted for. That's going to help Sweat out. The interior line, Grady's got to play a better game. I mean, that's all that amounts to. We paid him a lot of money to do so. I think he will. Here's my losses for us, though, and I know this is going to fire you up a little bit, but I think we lose to Philly at home, unfortunately. I think we lose to Green Bay in Green Bay. I think we lose Seattle in Seattle. I think we lose on Thanksgiving Day to the Lions. I think we lose the Bills. And the last one I have, and I'll explain, I think that we lose to the Vikings in Week 18 in Minnesota. And the reason why I think that is I think hopefully by that time, it'll be more of play through halftime and pull your starters because we're in the playoffs. That's what I think. I think it's going to come down, though, obviously, to the pass rush and to the left tackle opportunities. I mean, I like our pass rush a lot better than our current situation at left tackle. I will say that. Now that I answered your question after you threw it, what's your take?
I just wanted to see what the old man thought, No, I agree with you 100%. The homer me thinks we go 13-4, but you're probably more realistic, right? 10 or 11 wins. But I really think we surprised people. I don't think the Eagles are as good as they used to be. I know they're still formidable, but there's a lot of issues. There's not a lot of new pieces in that team. We saw what we had to do last year. We could copy that, Ben Johnson's a maniacal kind of coach, and I have faith in him. As far as we talked all that stuff, and we still haven't put up the fact that it's the second year with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, and it's just another just big chance for him to prove himself. So I have faith in that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I was going to say that the second year, not just with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, but it's also the second year with Dennis Allen's defense and his scheme and the players being used to DA's defense. I think that's going to help a little bit. I really do. Obviously, we lost some key players on defense as far as on the defense side of the ball that mattered and really helped us win last year. But in the same return, I think that the ones that are there have bought into a system, and I think they'll be all right. I honestly do. I think that our defensive line doesn't worry me as much as that left tackle position. And let's see what happens. I mean, that's all we can say really with left tackle. Let's see what
I don't
happens.
disagree
I
with
mean,
you,
Jones is questionable because you've said it before. He's, very handsy, gets a lot of holding calls, and we'll see if they can break that habit when it comes down to it.
No, I agree. I mean, he's not strong at the point. He has small legs. We talked about his chicken legs. I mean, he's knows the offense, which is good. He's smart, but he's not strong at the point.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we're trying to predict their season. Let's talk about their schedule overall. All right. They have the toughest schedule in the NFL. The Miami Dolphins actually surprisingly have the second toughest schedule. I'm going to say that the Dolphins are a little skewed because of what I'm going to call, and agree with you finally, Patriots' lucky season with the soft schedule. So I think when you're talking two of their games already, they're talking about a winning team. The Patriots, obviously, their winning percentage was really high last year, so that's going to be a little skewed. Arizona Cardinals are third, tied with the Packers, with 538 winning percentage for their opponents. Kansas City falls in fifth. New England sixth, and Vegas, the Vegas Raiders. How do they end up in the top 7 there is questionable. I guess it just falls with that rotation with your AFC teams and so on and so forth. So they just got, or the rotation of the NFC teams, they just got a bad draw on that one. Buffalo Bills at 8, Chargers at 9, and Panthers at 10. Their average opponent had a winning percentage of 521. So, Eric, what would you say would be the most concerning thing with the strength schedule that the Bears have going into 2026?
I mean, I think it's always staying healthy. That's the biggest thing. We have a week 10 bye, so that's really good in the middle of the season almost. A little late, but it's not terrible. I just think that staying healthy and just being able to score 40 on everybody. There's no other option with our defensive line, how it is. I know you're not too scared of it, but it still scares me. I need proven players, and we don't have that on the defensive line. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, no, I agree. When you look at that strength schedule and you actually look at the opponents there, how do you think the Bears, I have Buffalo beating them because it's in Buffalo, right? How would the Bears be able to beat somebody that they play at that caliber when you're talking about Josh Allen? And let's face it, he's got 2 very good tight ends, and now he's got DJ Moore. How do the Bears even go in there defensively if they don't have pass rush and be able to beat them?
I mean, that's the thing, 6'6", 250,
Weak linebackers.
It's about containing him, make him play quarterback, but it's going to be hard to do. And, like I said, we got to score 40, and it's going to be a shootout like the Bengals.
So we talk about teams like Philadelphia, right? Buffalo, who they have. New England, I'm going to throw it out there anyway because of their record last year. Seattle. What team out of the schedule that we have, not including the strong teams like that, would you be concerned the Bears facing?
I really think that the, Jaguars are going to be formidable. I know people don't like that, but those Florida teams, Jaguars and Bucks, are always formidable teams. And it's, we were both at home, so that shouldn't be too bad with weather. So I still think those Florida teams can be pretty good this year.
See, I think the Miami one's sneaky. And the reason why I say that is because of who their head coach is. I think the Bears go to Miami and win, but I think that could be one that could really come back to bite them, only because that defensive or that head coach knows how to play the Bears defensively, obviously with his years in Green Bay.
No, he knew how to play defense, but he's not very good against Ben Johnson's offense, so I think we'll be all right.
This is true.
Miami does.
Well, he got burned at the end. He's gotten burned.
Miami does have a good track record against us, so
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. I'm just ready for football. Facing the Panthers, that's going to be a great game. Vikings second week, and then the Eagles. That's pretty good 3 weeks of football. Jets, meh, and then we got Green Bay, like you said. So I'm just excited.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the Bears Stadium. All right. We talk about this, I think, every pod right now. The NFL has actually stepped in and been like, hey, listen, let's make sense of this. Let's get it done. So there's no more, this or that. The NFL is kind of putting their foot down a little bit, I think. With saying that, the Bears are primarily focused on developing out there in Arlington Heights. I think personally, I'm gonna save the mayor thing to the end. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say. Obviously Hammond, Indiana is still there. But I think with Arlington Heights, the Illinois lawmakers have been working really hard on trying to get a deal together. So that way they can get the infrastructure paid for and so on and so forth. Part of me says I finally believe they're going to be in Arlington Heights like we've talked about in the past, but there's no telling. I've also heard that, George has been like, no, Indiana's offering us too good of a deal. I mean, my only question, Eric, when we talk about the Indiana deal, and from my understanding at first, this is kind of like a loan to the Bears and a repayment over, I think it is 7 years or so on. So something like that through the revenue, through all kinds of different areas, but a lot into it. But anyway, the Bears would actually own everything after 7 years. I mean, do you think that's still more valuable to the Bears to go to Indiana? I understand that portion. Probably financially, it might be better for them. But at the end of the day, is it better for them to stay in Illinois?
Officially, yeah, Illinois, but we talked about this. It's the same distance to Arlington and Indiana. The tax breaks and all that includes going to Indiana. Business-wise, Indiana makes more sense, but it's up to the business people to make that decision. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, and who's going to give them better options?
Right. All right. Which brings me, when we talk about options, Eric, you've got Mayor Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, goes downstate to Springfield and starts lobbying against this bill so he can keep the Bears in Chicago. Now, the NFL's already came out and said, the NFL committee came out and said, listen, there's only two viable options. It's Hammond and it's Arlington Heights. So why would Brandon Johnson go down there and lobby against something that's not going to happen? The Bears have the lowest attendance in the NFL. You know why that is, Eric? Because we have the smallest stadium in the league. It's not because we don't want to go to the games. It's because you can fit, just under 55,000 in there. That's it. That's too small for an NFL stadium right now.
Not to mention just getting there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just had to say that.
Well, I mean, even that though, you can't fit the amount of people that would go see the game. That stadium cannot hold. I guarantee you, if the Bears build a stadium that seats 100,000, they're going to put 100,000 in the stands. If they build a stadium that'll seat 200,000, the Bears would fill a 200,000 stadium. If the Bears built a 300, you know what I'm saying? The Bears are going to sell out every game. They do. I mean, we know because it's cheaper to go to another city to go see the Bears play because how expensive it is because of the limited seating in Soldier Field already. So why would Brandon Johnson try to do it? I understand it's a financial thing. It's a political thing. He's trying to protect his backside on this one because he's losing the Bears out of Chicago. But should he leave it alone?
Yeah, I mean, politics is politics. He's just trying to push for his name, and it keeps his name in the books. Good publicity, bad publicity. It is what it is, right? I mean, looking up the average stadium, like you said, we're dead last with 61,000, and then you got the Jets and Giants with 82,000. So that's 20,000 people. That is a lot. Not to mention, we could have Super Bowls, all those things. So I agree with you. Tell that motherfucker to shut his mouth and figure it out, okay? Let's get a fucking new stadium. I mean, it should be that simple.
Absolutely. Brandon Johnson, please just stop. All right. Enough Bears talk here. Eric, let's start our week-to-week predictions for the different divisions. All right. We're going to start off with the AFC East predictions. All right. I was supposed to do records and I forgot. I will throw some records out there come next podcast. We're doing the AFC East. I'll shoot mine out there real quick. I got the Jets finishing in fourth place. They went out. They got Geno. Geno Smith, to me, struggled in Vegas. So I can't see him being the answer when he goes to a team that is historically worse than the Raiders. 2 of the 3 first-round picks, so I will say, because they had 3 first-round picks, Sadiq at tight end and Cooper Jr. at wide receiver. So they're trying to give Geno Smith some weapons. They got a questionable O-line, which gave up second most sacks in the league last year and gave them no real help going into 2020. Upside is they got Hall back and signed to a contract. Third place, I got the Dolphins. They had a lot of free agents. For 2026, obviously Malik Willis at quarterback. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. They did draft Proctor to help with the bad O-line. That was 28th last season, ranked by PFF. And then with a new quarterback, a new coach, I think they're going to struggle this year. I believe in 2027, you'll see a rise to Miami. I think that they do got a good coaching staff. And I do like, Malik. I think he's a good quarterback. He's mobile. His arm's decent. We've seen that. And I think with more snaps, you're not going to have fumbles like you had against the Bears. I just think that with repetition, he's going to even get better. Second place, I got the Patriots. They had a great season last year. I know they got a tough schedule this season. I just think they have a lot of drama going on right now. And Drake May is also going to be facing some very premium teams now, premium defenses. It's not going to be the 2025 season for Drake May. It's going to be a challenge. And if he comes out shining, that's going to prove that it wasn't a fluke last year, but it's just going to be very tough. And I think that the Bills, who I got picked to take first place, they got a tough schedule on paper, strong veteran leadership. They got, like I said before, 2 great tight ends, and they also now have DJ Moore and Josh Allen. You said it. The guy behind the line as a quarterback is kind of hard to stop anymore just because of his size and his arm. Both are just great. So that's my prediction for the AFC East.
You pretty much summed it up. I'll go with the same thing. It's easy to pick. Got Glenn with the Jets. I like him as a coach. He added a couple defensive players, but he's missing a lot on the offensive side. Sorry. Yeah. And then he has an easy stretch where he faces the Titans, Browns, Dolphins, and Raiders, but most likely, you don't see him winning more than 2 to 4 games.
And I don't think the Titans are going to be an easy
I
win.
think the Titans are going to be better this year. I agree with you there. And then you go next up to the Miami Dolphins. Like you said, they traded a lot of talent trying to rebuild. They got rid of Tua, and so they're on cap hell right now. But they're trying to rebuild. Same thing. They probably go maybe 5 to 4 wins. There's not a lot they can do. And then they gave that Patrick Willis, right? No, not Patrick Willis. What is his name? Malik Willis?
Malik Willis.
Yeah, a decent contract that I probably would not. I know he can play, but I don't think he's worth that much. And then we got New England, like you said. It's going to be hard for Vrabel to come back from all this other side. It's side noise. How many people get off of that, for one, okay? That's just going to be a topic all season for him. And then, like we said, he added a couple key players. His offensive line got a little better for Drake May, but he still doesn't have that number 1 receiver for him. They do got tight ends, like you said, but it's just not there for me. And then you got finally, they do probably go 9-8. I will say 9-8 for them. And then, like we said, you got the Buffalo Bills. They lost a couple of players, but they added Chubb. They added another pass rusher with TJ Parker, so that defensive line looks a little better, and I think with adding more is really good for that offense as well. He won't just have the tight ends to throw to, and I don't see Josh Allen having a bad year this year, honestly.
No, I don't disagree. All right, let's change topics a little bit here, Eric. Let's talk about Real American Freestyle. Do you think they're currently putting together more exciting cards than the UFC right now? I know we're big Real American Freestyle fans, also UFC fans. What's your thoughts? Let me ask you that.
I enjoy it, to see high level grappling. I think, the next card here coming up soon in May is Stevenson versus Romolov. Stevenson's the best heavyweight in the world right now, personally. Maybe I'm a little bit exaggerating. They got Kobe Covington over Chris Weidman, 2 vets. That's going to be good. We got our boy pants beneath the legs, Kyle Schneider wrestling. So, I really enjoy it. I think they do. The UFC, we've talked about this. I don't even think the presidential card is that great. Honestly, they could have done so much better with it. They could have added a lot more to it. It's just not the same flair like we used to have with Conor McGregor and some of the other big names. It just doesn't feel the same. It feels forced more now than then.
Yeah. I've been entertained by the RAF cards without a doubt. I also think the UFC, the last 3 fight cards that they've done haven't looked the best until the cards have taken place. And they have been actually some really good fights. I know, obviously, last card that Strickland beat Hamzat, but let's talk about Van's performance in the co-main. So there's a lot of exciting things going on in the UFC. I do think that the cards look bland, but I think the last 3 cards have been really exciting. And it's hard to say, they're 2 totally different sports, though. I mean, you're throwing fists and kicks, and the other, I mean, you could be launched essentially, as we've seen through the last Real American Freestyle event. I still watch UFC on my TV if it's on while RAF is on, and I watch RAF on my phone or on the pad. I'm excited to attend RAF. RAF 11 I'm going to in Milwaukee. They have not thrown any names yet on the card, but I am excited. RAF is doing a great job of keeping people entertained. I mean, not only are they throwing great wrestlers, like you had mentioned, Kyle Snyder, Stevenson is now, part of that, but they're also bringing in some great MMA stars that have wrestling or grappling backgrounds, which even hype it up even more. I mean, me as a wrestling fan, I enjoy the thought of being able to go see Gable Stevenson fight or wrestle. I enjoy the thought of watching Kyle Snyder or Real Woods, or, any of these, even Jordan Oliver at his age. I'm excited to know that these guys could possibly be on the card. But in the same return, I mean, could I see Shmaev wrestling?
He's actually wrestling Dylan Donis.
Yeah, but I mean, will he be in Milwaukee? Will I be able to see that?
St. Louis.
No, I'm going to Milwaukee though. What I'm saying is he could be on that card. Who knows who I'm going to see wrestle when I go into Milwaukee. I mean, UFC stars wise. So going back to my point, these guys are doing an outstanding job of mixing that UFC talent and mixing the actual wrestling talent that has come out collegiately. I just really enjoy it. I think it's great. I'm excited for the St. Louis card. I'm excited for not really Dallas. I think it's in Plano, Texas or something like that. That card's freaking awesome so far. That's good stuff to me. You know what I mean? I'm getting excited now.
It's going to be good. I'm waiting for them to come to Iowa. I mean, come on, you can't have wrestling and not come to Iowa. That would be nice for them. But no, I agree with you. I think you're going to have a good time in July over there in Milwaukee, even though you're in enemy territory. That should be a good time.
That's all right. I'll take that. All right. We're going to do a new segment, and we're going to talk about bad beats. It could be anything that happened that was off kilter for the week or from somebody, maybe a bad play, anything. And the one topic that we're going to talk about is Sean O'Malley's take on the UFC 250 shorts, and not just his take on the shorts, but Alex Pereira's ass. I mean, Eric, you sent me this and I watched it and I'm like, it's just weird. I mean, first of all, what's your thoughts on the shorts? Do you agree with O'Malley?
I agree. I do agree with him. I do not like the design. They could have done better. There's a lot more they could have done with the shorts. Second of all, he didn't even say pause or no diddy or anything. He just kept going with it. He kept saying like he probably would have cracked him. He said like that's what he implied. I was just like, dude, you need to relax here. Like next thing he's gonna say I was bricked up. Come on, man, what are we doing?
When I'm watching in his eyes and his face, it's almost like he's getting stimulated. He's
thinking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's heavyweight now. It goes to his butt. Like it is what it is. It's like an offensive lineman. But I'm not going to say that about somebody like that. I don't know.
Oh, hell no. No way. I agree with you on that one. It was a little wild. First of all, I don't mind the shorts, by the way, the actual design. I agree they could be better. I don't think they're horrible, but I mean, it probably kind of matches the card that they put up there. So it goes hand in hand, I guess. It's okay. It's not great. Like you said, that card could be a lot better, and so can the shorts. So it just goes hand in hand, I guess. But O'Malley, please, dude, just at least
relax. Put it back in your pants.
At least something to cover yourself on that.
No
one.
diddy. That's all you have to say. No diddy. That's all you can apply.
I mean, he might as well just put up a bottle of Johnson & Johnson baby oil and he's
Right,
been all
right,
right.
and be like, "Hey, Shama, my boy, come over."
Oh, yeah, right? Man, speaking of, and we didn't throw this on the list, but it made me think of this. What do you think of the Hulk when he did his press conference for a UFC 250? What did you think of
Poor
that?
boy.
Yeah.
You know,
Be honest. I thought it was cringe as shit. I'm just gonna tell you.
I mean, you can't be saying that shit to the baddest man on the world. I mean, I just he hasn't proven himself. He'll beat Lewis. That's not really a challenge for him.
You think he beats Lewis?
I do.
He doesn't have much of a defense. He's got a decent chin, but I mean, Lewis has got, I mean, a
Yeah, I know he's
solid
got
punch.
time. He's got some, but I think he beats Lewis. I don't think it was that good of a matchup for him, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that he forces it. We all know it's a gimmick. Like we don't have to
Mhm.
think about that, And
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
you're talking about a Division I football player and a Division I
Wrestler. I
wrestler.
didn't even know
mean,
he was a D1 wrestler until
yeah.
recently. So I mean, he's just playing the game, and he's doing a worse job than our boy Covington and our boy Triple C. But whatever
Yeah.
makes him the money. I mean, like
Well, he's definitely brought his name out, that's for
yeah,
sure.
that
But
is brought his
he
name
might have
out.
just
Like
brought
I
it out
said,
to the wrong one.
good and bad press. You heard Strickland be like, "Sorry, I went a little overboard, but
Yeah.
it sold tickets." So it just at the end of the day, good or bad press, like I said earlier, will make you get attention.
Yeah, but let me ask you, and I get that you're selling a fight. You can say a lot of things to sell a fight, right? He could have talked about, you know, how much weight he's gained. He could talk about anything, but when you literally tell this dangerous ass man that you're gonna chama on his mama, you're asked for an ass whooping. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, know your crowd. I mean, it's one thing to talk shit to people that can't kick your ass. That man's the baddest man alive right now, and I'm sorry, you're not to that caliber. There's levels to things,
Right, right. Absolutely. I agree 100%. All right, another segment, buy or sell. And actually, I really like these, Eric. You actually threw out two of these three. Kenneth Walker III just signed a 3-year, $45 million deal. By the way, that goes back to what Eric and I have been saying for the last 2 years about running backs becoming more important, and they were underpaid at one point in time, and now we see that pay coming back. But does that instantly elevate the Chiefs back to an elite rushing attack? I'm going to say yes. I think, granted, he's only had one really good season. I think he'll carry on. He's going to play not just with a great quarterback, but with a great head coach. Kelsey coming back is still going to make him dangerous. They had some decent draft picks when it comes to wide receiver position. I think he's going to be good. I mean, how could you not in that offense? That's all I guess I can say is they had a down season last year. I get it, but yeah, absolutely.
The one reason I said this is because they got Bieniemy back at the offensive coordinator. So yes, 100%. After I saw what he did with our running backs, I can only imagine what he's going to do as the offensive coordinator. It's just 100%. And I'm a huge fan of Walker's play style. Yes, maybe he can't block, maybe he can't catch the best, but he is a downhill runner and he's a special athlete. So as long as he stays
And that may
healthy,
get better with Bieniemy.
yeah,
being there.
exactly. Yeah. So I'm on board with you.
All right, your second one. The Dolphins, will they manage to win more than 4 games with Malik Willis under center? What do you think, Eric?
I think they won 5 games. So yes, they'll win more than 4 games. There's a lot of winnable games with the Jets, playing them twice. You got a couple other games that I would think will be close against the Raiders. So I think they can sneak some sneaky wins, and like I said earlier, I think I wouldn't have paid Malik that much money, but I think he's a serviceable quarterback. So they're going to surprise people.
Would you rather him or Tua under center? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, 100% Malik. Playing against him so many times, he's got a dog in him. Tua, he's just fragile. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Dolphins pull off 5 to 6 wins. I think with Malik, like I said, with him, when he actually is just consistently under center or taking the snap, he's only going to get better and better. I think his mobility is great. I mean, he is a very mobile quarterback, and he's got a solid arm. I like his style. I talked about it in previous podcasts. I think that he is a starter in the NFL, and I'm surprised that more teams weren't going after him. But yeah, most definitely over 4 wins this season as a Miami Dolphins starting quarterback, I take. And I want to end this podcast on another note here. This I thought was pretty interesting because the White Sox Cubs are playing, by the way, and I don't know what the score is currently, but I do know the Sox are losing 4-1.
No, they came back. It's 4-4.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Nice. I am a Sox fan. Eric is a Cubs fan, but we've been tortured for years on and off, so it goes one way or another. But anyway, this isn't about either one. This is about the Toronto Blue Jays, right? Eric, are you buying this? All right. The Blue Jays are offering a blue garlic mayo cotton candy fry that they're charging essentially $12.50 Canadian dollars for during the 2026 season. All right, check this out. It's got crispy fries topped with blue dyed garlic, all right, and mayonnaise, a fluffy blue and white cotton candy on the top, like 2 little doppels up on top of it. Something you try if you're at the ballpark or no?
No, that's not for me, man. I'm a Italian beef or wings kind of guy. Something simple.
Well, you got to have a hot dog at the game.
It just is. It's not for me. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a fan fry, but not cotton. I mean, sweet and salty can be good, but not cotton candy sweet. I'm sorry. That's not for me.
When I seen that, I was like, man, no way. You're talking a garlic mayo and cotton candy together. Thanks, but no thanks. And then, in the same return I see at the White Sox, because Cubs and Sox are playing currently at a good rate, which is the Sox Stadium. And I see this s'mores shake. And oh my God, the s'mores shake is $32, but it looks so good. And I've been on like the world's best diet here the last like 4 months. And if I went to the game, I'd have to have one. I'd probably get really sick afterwards, but I'd have to have one. I mean, it looks so good.
Yeah. Your sugar's
compared
gonna be
to like
1,000.
these fries, Yeah, exactly. It's a diabetic coma probably for myself. But anyway, so you wouldn't try them?
Not for me, man. If somebody else bought them, like maybe, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to eat those things. I'm sorry, can't do it.
No, if it was the garlic mayo, I would.
No,
try
that's
that.
fine. I can do that. Yeah.
But not the cotton candy.
I don't know. It's just not for me. You're trying too hard. I think, especially Canada. Come on. I thought you guys were healthy.
Yeah. Sure. Never mind. But anyway, all right, Eric. Let's wrap this up. What do you got in closing?
I hope the Cubs win right now because we're tied 4-4 and we let it come back. But that's typical Cubs fashion. Otherwise, we appreciate everybody listening. Let us know how we do. Let us know how we can improve, and we'll keep pushing.
All right, we're back at it, guys. We'll be posting more. Obviously, our weekly podcast, maybe even a podcast here or there if there's breaking information that comes across. We'll hit quick ones. Be a little more active on that scene. Also on our TikTok and Instagram pages. Please drop us a follow on TikTok or on Instagram. Also, subscribe to our channel if you like what you're hearing. Besides that, be kind to each other. We're out. Peace.